Yorkshire Tea is owned by Taylors of Harrogate. It has grown rapidly over recent years in a market worth 378 million. In 2017, it became the second biggest brand and is now only beaten by market leader PG Tips. Whilst the traditional black tea market has declined in terms of volume, Yorkshire Tea has bucked this trend and is seeing sales rise. This contrasts the fortune of PG Tips, Tetley and Tai Fu, who have seen sales fall. So how do consumers decide which tea to purchase, and what makes them pay more for branded tea when they could buy supermarket own label for less money? And why has Yorkshire Tea's marketing been more successful than its close competitors? Many of us will have heard of Pavlov's use of classical conditioning, where he taught a dog to salivate at the sound of a bell. Marketers often use classical conditioning by showing their product alongside images which consumers already have positive attitudes towards, with the aim of transferring those positive attitudes and feelings towards their product. Yorkshire Tea use attractive images of the rolling hills of Yorkshire on its packaging and its adverts and its marketing activities. The company hopes that consumers will have existing positive attitudes towards the UK countryside and perhaps Yorkshire. These images may evoke pleasant cues such as feelings of relaxation, mental well-being, nature and natural ingredients, and organic farming. And Yorkshire Tea hope that when consumers experience their product without these images, they still feel these positive associations. Yorkshire Tea use their Harrogate-based production really centrally to their brand strategy and their marketing materials. So it's used across advertising, web, packaging, social media, and even in their campaign slogan where everything's done proper. But is this a wise strategy to developing positive attitudes towards the brand? Lots of evidence exists that using country of origin can have a very positive impact on perceptions of products. So it's perhaps wise to think about how this country of origin can be related to the Yorkshire origin. And in fact, the UK production of Yorkshire Tea, which its rivals do not have, is inferred in the references to Yorkshire. Researchers have found that it can have as big an effect on price or brand name as perception. Theorelli found that it had an impact on perceived quality, overall attitude, and purchase intention. So this seems a wise move. Multi-attribute models, such as the fishbone model, are based on the principle that consumers' attitudes to products are based on their evaluation of various attributes that the product has, and that consumers engage in cognitive thinking. If we look at how Yorkshire Tea are considering this, we can see on the left that the Mintel report provided information about attributes that UK consumers are interested in. Teas and Agile looked at tea attributes in Taiwan. Taste, packaging appear on both lists, but in the UK, consumers are also looking at ethical considerations. They're interested in fair trade. We can see with Yorkshire Tea that they are proving this, for example, through the company's Tree Pledge, the information about their ingredients and their fair trade practices across their website and their social media activity. We can also see, for example, in the Brownlee Brothers advert that they're ticking off the utility aspect, source of hydration, and also through the campaign strapline, let's have a proper brew. One drawback, according to Rossiter and Percy of the multi-attribute models, is that they don't fully capture the role of feelings. It is highly unlikely that cognitive approaches to attitude formation can tell the full story. Cognitive thinking around attributes are unlikely to make that final decision around which brand to purchase. Why are consumers deciding to buy a brand and not just purchase supermarket tea? How are they choosing between Tai Fu, Tetley and Yorkshire Tea when they probably taste the same and are priced very similarly? It's really important to look at the more emotional, intuitive elements of attitude formation. For example, Kahneman looked at System 1 and System 2. System 1 is where intuition and instinct takes place. 95% of our thinking is here. Barden 2013 said it's really important for brands to have targeted activity for System 1 as well as the rational thinking in System 2. The elaboration likelihood model also looks at how much thinking or how much intuition different messages have. So where a consumer has low involvement, low interest, they're taking a peripheral route to attitude formation. They're more easily influenced. They're not cognitively thinking about it. They're more likely to accept a brand message or visual suggestion. For consumers with high involvement, high interest in a particular decision, they're taking the central route, which is going to require more carefully considered analysis. Both things are important for Yorkshire Tea to be successful. So how might Yorkshire Tea develop positive feelings for their brand, which consumers could intuitively call upon? Humour may be one such possibility, and Yorkshire Tea use it widely in their activities, from their TV adverts, social media output, gangster rap style videos. There are many, many examples. Humour has long been used in advertising, but is it effective? Madden and Weinberger researched the impact of humour in magazine advertising and found it successfully attracts attention. 10 years later, Weinberg and Goulas conducted a major review of research on humour in advertising in the US and UK. They explain that humour does pose significant risk as it possesses a wide variety of factors which can influence success or failure. Will your audience find it in poor taste, for example? Humour in this review did increase attention and liking, but it didn't increase source credibility. Humour which was related closely to product or service was found to be more effective than unrelated humour, and we can see that Yorkshire Tea do adhere to this. In a more recent study, Plagiaman in 2014 looked at humour and found that even when stereotyping occurred, humour was still found to positively influence product attitudes and brand attitudes. Celebrities are well used by brands, and Yorkshire Tea are no exception. All 3 of their TV adverts feature celebrities. They are commonly used to enhance persuasion and attitude development through the source attractiveness and source credibility aspects. Rossiter and Percy look at it from a classical conditioning approach. What are the positive feelings that celebrity will develop that will persist when they are not paired with the product? There is plenty of evidence out there that using celebrities is effective and has positive reactions on brand sales. Market leader PG Tips use many of the same attitude formation theories as Yorkshire Tea. For example, they look at multi-attribution theory. They know that UK consumers want brands to behave ethically, so they have campaigns and initiatives that meet that requirement. They use humour. They have had to move with the changing prevailing attitudes around using animals and resort to a knitted monkey. They use celebrities. They are looking to generate the warmth and fun from Johnny Vegas through to their brand and their product. So it is difficult for Yorkshire Tea and PG Tips to separate themselves. It's also important for all brands to think about the overall category attitudes. Posavac et al. Found that category attitudes were very key to product attitudes. The key thing that PG Tips don't have is the ability to use source of origin as a quality cue. This is where Yorkshire Tea have an advantage. So in summary, the black tea market is highly competitive. Attribute-only models and cognitive models are unlikely to explain why somebody would choose Yorkshire Tea over PG Tips, Tetley or Tai Fu. Attitudes are formed in a number of ways, and brands need to think about how they influence both the cognitive approaches to attitude formation and the more intuitive and emotional routes. Yorkshire Tea use humour and celebrities to generate positive feelings. Both of these methods have strong empirical support. Market leader PG Tips also use attribute marketing, classical conditioning and humour, but with Indian production, it prevents them from using country of origin as a quality indicator, giving Yorkshire Tea an advantage.